Today I'm gonna show you how to make homemade hot chocolate. I love homemade hot chocolate. It's a little extra work than like the packet ones. It's like 3 more minutes extra work. So I wanna prep everything before we get things in a pot. I'm gonna need about half a bar of dark chocolate, at least 70% cacao. Because we're using so much milk, we want the dark chocolate to kind of like even out the milky taste. That's why we're using dark chocolate instead of like milk chocolate. We're just gonna chop this up. Next, we're gonna do 1.5 cups of whole milk or whatever milk you prefer. It's not gonna affect the taste, it's just gonna affect the consistency. I mean, unless you use like almond milk, then it'll affect the taste. And then we're gonna do half a cup of heavy cream. So we're gonna add all this into a little pot. Turn it to low. We're really just heating up the milk. We're not boiling it or anything. So let this get a little warm before we add anything else. Once the milk's all warm, we're gonna add 3 tablespoons of cocoa powder. And we're gonna do 3 tablespoons of sugar. We're gonna mix this up. I'm gonna slowly add my chocolate. I'm gonna let it melt. I'm gonna add a little bit, let it melt. This smells so good. Gonna add just a dash of vanilla. I'm not going crazy this time. So after all the chocolate's done melting, I'm gonna let it just heat up for like 2 more minutes. We want it to get a little bit thick. That's why we're gonna wait the 2 minutes, and it's already starting to get thick. I have my mug. This is my favorite mug because Iron Man. So if you can see, this is like the consistency I like. I like a good like creamy, because I feel like in all of like the Christmas movies, like the Santa Claus, Polar Express, it's always like thick hot chocolate. But if you don't want your hot chocolate this thick, you don't have to add the heavy cream, just do 2 cups of milk. Of course I have to make whipped cream. I can't have hot chocolate without whipped cream, so I'm just gonna do the rest of my heavy cream in here. I'm just gonna hand whisk because I don't feel like doing more dishes. I'm gonna do a peppermint whipped cream. Once the heavy cream looks like this is called soft peaks. I'm gonna add some powdered sugar. I'm not measuring, I'm just adding it in there. And I'm sifting it to get all these clumps out too. Last time I made whipped cream, people asked why I did powdered sugar instead of regular sugar. If you make whipped cream with regular sugar, it's just gonna be really grainy. I'm gonna whisk until I don't see any more powdered sugar. Gonna add a little bit of vanilla. Next, I'm gonna do a little bit of peppermint extract because anything mint, especially peppermint, is very, very strong. I'm just gonna whisk this until it looks like whipped cream. All right, looks like whipped cream. Put the whipped cream on there. You can obviously put it in a piping bag and make it look prettier than this. We'll add some chocolate shavings. Here's my hot chocolate. It's so good, I love hot chocolate.